Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the stocks that were in play after hours today. So Alcoa reported earnings. They did really well. They were rising sharply in after hours trading. They did a good job in reducing their loss from this quarter, the previous year, from 113 million loss last year to only 41 million this year. So they beat estimates. They're really reducing costs, and the big thing is that Alcoa was really beaten up heading into earnings. As you can see here, RSI was below 30, Fasto still below 20 at 15. It's at oversold levels. At 36 on RSI, there's a ton of juice to run. What you want to see is it get back above that 50 level. You can see here minus DI has been hooking down as plus DI is starting to hook up, and so this has been in a downtrend, trading below the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line, and below EMA4, the pink line. It had closed above EMA4 on the 16th, and today was the second close in a row above that level. That was your clue the chart was heating up, okay? And then now today in after hours trading, it closed at 38.50, so that's putting it up here above EMA13. That's going to be the big level to hold tomorrow, 37.97. If it drops below $38, the downside risk is it comes down and fills the gap. There's going to be a gap between high of day yesterday and low of day today, and so that is the downside risk, is coming down and filling the gap. If 38 holds, what you're looking for is a break above the middle Bollinger Band at 39.69. It needs to turn that level, that's also the 20-day simple moving average, into support to get a new uptrend going. If it did break above that level, check out the gap over here. There's a gap between low of day on the 5th and high of day on the 6th, and so 41 is the bottom of the gap. A bottom of the gap is always really tough to break, so keep that in mind. That'll be a big resistance level. If it does bust through, you would have a potential gap fill, and the top of the gap is lined right up with that 50-day simple moving average. Those are the upward targets and key levels to break. If it did drop below that EMA4 level at 365, that would signal downside risk. And right now, since it's going to be above EMA8, it looks like tomorrow, above 37.97, if it does open above that level, it's going to need to stay above that level. It'll signal downside risk if it drops below. If you look down here at the MACD 8.13 and 5, it signals before the 12.26 and 9. It's pinched and starting a bullish crossover, signaling the possible start of a new uptrend. Okay, Steel Dynamics was in the news after hours today. They reported earnings, and they did well. They did good as well. And so we have the commodities are doing good right now. So we have tech under pressure, and so you need to just be thinking about sector rotation. You have to be open-minded when things aren't working, like technology. You have to look at other areas to find places to make good trades. And right now we have a really beaten up commodity sector here, and so maybe they can get a run going. Who knows? They could sell it off. Keep in mind, AA and Steel Dynamics are both in very strong downtrends in the daily chart, and so bounces tomorrow it will just be a short cover rally until they turn that middle Bollinger Band, the 20-day simple moving average, back into support to get a new uptrend going. So as you can see here, they did a good job here on earnings, and so Steel Dynamics was running in after hours trading. It did hit 42.05. It had closed at 40.55, so that's a really nice move. If we take a look real quick up here, RSI, you can see it's at 24.37. That's very oversold. Loading below 30 is usually a good idea for a stock like Steel Dynamics. I mean, that's extreme oversold levels. A back above 30 will signal the chart's heating back up. You have Fasto at 11. This was really beaten down. You could check out how they really dropped it heading into earnings, so expectations were greatly lowered. And so today, it looks like, with the move in after hours trading at 42.05, that's putting it above this EMA4 at 41.05 level, and that's going to be your your stop loss level tomorrow. It needs to stay above that level. If it were to drop below that level, that would be a sell signal. If it holds that level, what you're looking for is a break above EMA8 at 42.11. If it breaks that level, you have the 300-day simple moving average, which is going to be really tough to break. That's the blue line at 42.75, and just above that is EMA 13 at 43. If Steel Dynamics does trade above 43, that would be extremely bullish, and then that would be signaling that this is really happening. It's pushing higher, and then you're looking at a run up here to the 45 to 45 resistance zone to test that middle Bollinger Band and 50-day simple moving average. Keep in mind the 300-day simple moving average, once below it, is always tough to break, but it is a a very long-term moving average, and it's a level that stocks tend to bounce off of. Notice there is really big volume down at the bottom, the big volume spike at the low. That's a signal that traders were loading. Okay, so let's look here at another stock, Constellation Brands, ticker symbol STZ, the 40% owner of Canopy Growth. Arguably, you could say that Constellation Brands is the largest marijuana company in the world, since Canopy Growth is the largest company, and Canopy and Constellation Brands has an opportunity to acquire over a 50% stake of Canopy Growth. So they are. This is the big dog in the marijuana world, and having Rob Sands, the CEO, stepping down. I mean, you would think that that would be a red flag. He's the one who took the big bet on Canopy Growth. If they put somebody new in, are they going to be as bullish on marijuana? That remains to be seen. Are they going to still go this pro marijuana? I mean, obviously that's where this is headed. But that's you would think that this is going to leave some doubts into some minds with people with Canopy Growth. And so what you have to look at when CEO is stepping down is whether or not the stocks are going to be under pressure tomorrow. Interestingly, STZ, Constellation Brands, was trading up in after-hours trading today. It actually closed at 228.40 cents. It had closed at 228.20 cents. So that's very interesting that they did push it higher. It did not sell off. So there's no panic right now. I mean, he's not leaving, I believe, until the spring. I think they said here, something like that. I believe I read. March or something like that, stepping aside in March. So it's not like he's leaving right away. So this seems like it's a planned exit. Who knows how long it's been in the works. But yeah, this is just an interesting, it throws a little monkey wrench in with Canopy Growth, since this is such a big player. Got to make sure the next person stepping in line is as bullish on the marijuana sector as the guy leaving. And because Rob's, I mean, this guy is a pioneer. He's the first one to take a major step into marijuana, and that's setting them up as the leader. So think about the fact that he has been a pioneer in the cannabis sector, and so seeing him who knows what he's going to do after he leaves. Maybe he's going to be the head of a next major marijuana company. I have no idea. But right now we're just this technical analysis video. We don't talk a whole lot about the fundamentals, but the break here above 228 is interesting. There is this descending resistance line, and then you have the high close here on the 8th. Those are all right there around 228, between 228 and 229. And so if it starts trading above 229, that's going to be bullish. And what you're looking for is a run back up to this high close from back here in June. That's this red horizontal line, basically the 232 resistance zone. That is the bullish implications. If it breaks above 229, it has a good chance of running back up to 232. Once it hits that 232 level, the June jar will be filled. It'll be filled back up to that level. That will become the top of the jar, and it'll have to turn 232 into support to head higher. If 228 remains resistance and it drops below EMA 4 at 225.71, that's going to be your red flag that the chart's breaking down, and that will signal downside risk. That's where it could possibly retrace back down to that middle Bollinger Band and 200-day simple moving average. Usually it's bad news when the CEO is stepping down. We'll just have to see how the market reacts. You do have a declining volume pattern and very low volume today. So that's interesting, so we'll have to see tomorrow if there's a volume spike and if it's going to be a red one or a green one. Okay, so Canopy Growth, on the other hand, it did sell off slightly in after hours trading. It closed the day here at 50.69, and as you can see here in after hours trading down here, it's at 50.01. And so that is actually putting it just below the middle Bollinger Band at 50.08. That's the dotted purple line. As you can see here, there's this tight sideways channel. This red horizontal line is the top of the channel. This green horizontal line is the bottom of the channel. And so it's just right back in the middle of the channel. It really needs to stay above 50.08. It needs to hold that 50 level. If it trades below 49, that's just going to signal more consolidation it's going to signal that it could possibly retrace down to the bottom of the channel, which is between 45 and 46. You have the lower Bollinger Band down there at 45. That 45 will likely be tested if 50 broke and turned back into resistance. If 50 holds, it has to get back above this closing price on the 25th of September. That's been the big resistance level to break. That's the top of the channel. Once it gets above this 5250 resistance zone, then you have the 57 high close back on deck from the 15th. And so right now we need to see if you know, the news of the CEO stepping down is going to add more pressure to Canopy growth after it already has a 2-day pullback. It's really not the news that they needed. It's unfortunate that they had to time it today. I don't know why they had to come out today and say they could have waited until things were a little more rosy instead of piling on, you know, instead of putting out the bad news when the stock's already under some pressure. Okay, so yeah, so great day today for the Canada and for legalization. You know, we did get the sell the news. We were kind of expecting that after the big run up. We had, you know, the charts are starting to heat up in the cannabis sector. They were trying to, but they did pull back end of day, and they were under pressure after hours. So we will be charting the cannabis sector in the chat. If you'd like to come check out the charts tomorrow in real time, you know, I try to post them all throughout the day to keep everybody up to date on what's happening with all the top plays in the cannabis sector. All right, we'd love to have you in the premium chat. Please come check it out. Thank you.